Hello and welcome to Rage Quit. My name is Jay and today we've got some really sizable Warcry news, and this is talking about the future, at least possibly for the next 6 months. At least that's the sort of impression I get. Essentially it's also revealing a Warband, one of the two that we also knew, and talking about future products and how what might exist going forward. It's a little bit awkward to explain, so instead I'm just going to show you. If though at the end of this video you like the video, press like, it really does help. And if you're not subscribed and interested in skirmish games, etc., subscribe, because, that would be nice. But, no pressure. Let's just have a look at what we've got in store. And, I've not properly read this because I've been at work, but let's go through everything as we've got. So essentially the first point is that the starter set is going to be discontinued. Now, this is good to see that they're just going to come straight up front and say this, because I made a video last year about the Kill Team starter box being discontinued, and that was like heavily rumoured, but there was like decent sources saying that was the case. But people weren't happy. They were like, oh, you're scaremongering or what have you. However, it did actually turn out to be true. But here, they've just flat out saying, yeah, you're not going to be able to get the core set. That's not necessarily a problem, because you'll be able to just buy the core rules separately, pick up your warbands and play. Fine. They're just flat out saying that. It's good to see that they're doing that. It sounds like you're going to be able to get it for this Christmas. And then they're not really going to talk about it. That's probably going to be discontinued after that. So without fear-mongering, if that's something you really want, now would be your time. And then it says choose your warbands. And interestingly, it's only showing the Chaos warbands here, but we'll get onto that in a minute. And then you choose your battlefield, right? If that's how you want to get into it, these would be your essentials. You technically don't need these sections. Your warbands you could get in other ways, which we'll get to in a minute. These are the three different fields you can get, playing areas you can get. They are going to do the core set one as its own separate kit, so if you want to get that, you will be able to get that. And then for me, some of the more important news here really is the Tome of Champions. Now, this, I said before that I would actually sort of like a general's handbook for this once a year, because I thought that would be the best way to perhaps keep it balanced. Obviously, just releasing erratas and FAQs of point changes would have been fantastic, in my opinion, a little bit like the way that FFG does it. Now this, keep in mind here, it does say 2019, so this does imply that we're going to get this going forward. And basically, this new book containing rules for all the warbands in the game. So I've got to presume that that includes the skirmish warbands, and much more besides. So not only will include the chaos warbands, we're expecting it to include is it 8 or the 9 non-chaos factions, which is very, very intriguing. A little bit of me is I don't want to say concerned, but I mean, I'm just like, what is the point of having the cards? Like, if we're going to have a book that has all the rules in, the whole idea and theme of having the cards seems completely sort of redundant to me. Yes, they'll still have the pictures of the cards in the book for sure, but that's not really the same thing, is it? Like, it seems a bit crazy to me. Who knows? We're going to have all the rules in the book now. The interesting thing there, obviously it says more, but this could be a way of the more non-chaos warbands getting added, for sure. Why not? If you've got a big giant book of them, you could definitely add them. Whether or not it'll be up until that release point, and then everything from 2020 onwards would then get cards until the next book, I have to presume that's how it would work. So you're going to have a weird combination of some people having the book with all the rules for their armies in, and with the monsters and mercenaries, their rules. 2 books already. I'm a little bit meh about having a shed ton of books, but that's just GW's thing. I see the New Age of Sigma like trying to reduce the number of books. So you're probably going to get this book with everything that's been released prior. Cool, I don't really mind it. It's a nice way to update it. A book's what, £15-20. I realise that for some people's it's paying for rules that you've already paid for. You could be a little bit peeved. Whatever, I mean, if you're getting into this hobby and you're getting into a GW game, you sort of half know what you're signing up for there. I do find it a little bit weird that we're essentially getting rid of cards, because I personally really like the cards, and I know a lot of other people did. Hopefully they'll do card packs or something like that, but honestly, this is sort of saying, hey, the card packs that we had, they're probably discontinued at this point. I know when I was trying to buy them at release, they were pretty scarce then. Now if I tried to pick one up, I'm pretty sure I would definitely struggle. So fear not, I guess, is the warning here. If you can't get hold of the non-chaos warband factions, well, this book is going to include the rules for them, which is good. Weirdly, I think if you bought all the 9, what was it, like £5 recommended retail price, and there was 9, so it was like £45 to have all the faction cards. Now you can probably buy a book for, I'm guessing, approximately £15. So if you bought all 9, you could be a little bit peeved if you've not had time to use them all. But whatever, it's good and it's interesting. Just a little bit surprised that we're going away from the cards, because I think a lot of people liked the cards. Did they? Let me know in the comments below if you like the cards. I know I personally definitely did. I also like the fact that this could possibly see, we could see like FAQs and erratas printed in here, and with maybe like updated rules. For example, the new cover rule could get in there. All in all, they'll also probably add stuff for campaigns every year. I like the idea of one book that everybody probably needs to get, but that's all you need to get, and it can keep the game fresh every year. That, I think, is a good idea, in my opinion. I would have preferred 3, but you ain't gonna get it for free, so meh. Right, okay. So that's essentially it, apart from these new warbands, which is, I actually can't remember the name of these. The Spire Tyrants. I don't think we see the second one. This is just one model from it, and I'm not gonna lie. I was going to say sexy, but it's a very muscular male-looking guy. So, but he's a very nice-looking model for sure. I really like the armor's weird. It's like, I'm very well defended, the shoulders and above, but everything else I don't really care. I'm wearing cloth boots and a big giant axe, but nothing else. I'm just I'll cover my crotch, but I'm not going to wear anything else. I don't need it. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure how defensive this, apparel is, but whatever, the model looks nice. I really enjoy those boots for some reason. Give me a very 80s adventurer cloth boot aesthetic. I think there's a new monster. I think this is specifically a new monster that is in the. Is it? It says, meanwhile, if a monster has you roam to tackle or enslave more terrifying beasts of divine fire, all manner of monstrous horrors are on the way. So not just this one, we're going to get many monstrous horrors. It's really interesting that, because only really the people who are interested in the monsters part of Monsters and Mercenaries will be buying these. It's sort of like a niche of a niche. But I'm not going to lie, that guy, who I don't know, sort of seems to have like a gorilla-esque face with a human body. It's cool. It's very cool. I like it. The Formoroid Crusher. Formoroid? That sounds weird to say, but there you have it. So really some massive news for the future of Warcry. Yes, the Warcry starter set's getting ditched. That's number one. Nice to see that they're just going to be upfront about it, tell you there's different ways to get into it. Fine. The original terrain is coming for Age of Sigmar, if that's something you wanted just for Age of Sigmar. The Tome of Champions seems to be like a yearly book, presumably because of this 2019 bit. Seems to be including all of the rules that has happened before that book has come out. Sort of like, I know Necromunda did it and a lot of people were peeved in that, but they're saying it quite quickly. Hopefully that'll include, well, we don't know 100% what it includes. We only know that it includes the rules for all the factions up to that point. But hopefully it adds like FAQs and erratas and stuff like that. I don't want it to necessarily drastically change the game, but for sure I could imagine it including specific stuff for match play if the tournament scene was getting busted by, Flesh Eater courts were just like dominating. Then sure, I could imagine that being a way of like saying, actually, do this instead when you go to a tournament. And I wouldn't necessarily mind that. I know it's probably like 15-20 quid. I know that's money that people for rules, but as I said, this is a reasonably expensive hobby. It's not nice to have to just throw money every year at the same thing, but one book every year for a game you're going to play a lot would be okay, in my opinion. But the fact that they're then getting rid of the cards, it's not like they're getting rid of the cards, but the cards become a little bit redundant if you can just have a book with 8 factions. You might even have, you might have 8 plus 9. You could be looking at 17 factions minimum in this book. I'd rather have the book than worry about losing all the cards. But then again, having the cards for the faction was quite cool to see on the table. It had like an FFG effect, which I quite liked. And then we've got the first image of the Spire Tyrants, who are looking pretty damn nice. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you happy with this? I'm pretty content with the concept of a book. I mentioned it before that I would be, so it'd be very weird for me to come on and be like, I hate this idea of a book. Maybe it's a bit weird to do one this year rather than just wait till next year, including all the rules. I mean, it's weird to go away from cards, but that's GW for you. If this camera's a bit laggy, I do apologise. I'll try and sort it out, but I wanted to use it instead of the webcam because, I don't know, my beautiful face needs high def. Oh God, maybe I actually need the lack of high def. Maybe I'll go back to the 420 resolution of the webcam. As I said, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a most beautiful day. Let me know your thoughts. I'm really intrigued what you think the future of Warcry is. Tell me what your thoughts are there. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and goodbye.